In the Middle East, people in Israel are celebrating the return of 3 hostages released by Hamas this morning.
Wow.
It's in exchange for the
That's
release
crazy.
of 183 Palestinians jailed in Israeli jails.
What?
It's crazy.
We got 3 hostages back and they released 180.
That's crazy. It's like ever since Trump got into office, people started getting released. The whole time Biden was in there, we just been hearing about the hostages. Didn't know nothing that was going on with the hostages. But we can't say since Trump got office, we have started to see the release of the hostages, and he's sticking to his word that he ran on.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to get some people home, but that number is crazy.
Yeah, that's a big number. Nobody was expecting that number to be that high
at all.
For the release of 183 Palestinians jailed in Israeli jails.
It's crazy.
This is the moment the hostages were released to the Red Cross in Gaza after 16 months in captivity.
Dang.
They're now back in
months.
Israel, where they'll
That's a
receive
long
medical
time.
That's a long
checkups
time.
before they can reunite with their families. In Tel Aviv's
When you're somewhere for like that long, you think you're never going to come home, or
At
you're
all.
thinking that you're not going to make it out alive. And when this happened, I just know they just like, thank God.
Yeah,
I never thought this was happening. Not in my wildest dreams. I ever thought I would see the outside of them gates, and if I did, not alive.
they probably still don't believe it till they out.
Yeah, still
Those
pinching
gates.
themselves.
Yeah, they're like, yeah, it sound good. Let me out of here.
Yeah.
Israel, where they'll receive medical checkups before they can reunite with their families. In Tel Aviv's Hostages Square, hundreds cheered as they watched the handover on a big screen.
Right.
Palestinians are also celebrating the return of 183 detainees. Here they
Wow.
are, carrying some of the released men through the crowd in the streets of Ramallah. This is the 5th exchange in the first phase of the ceasefire deal. 131 Israelis and 5 Thai hostages have been freed, and almost 600 detainees released.
It's good work.
The CBC
Yeah, people
Sasha
coming
Petrosy
home.
joins
Yeah.
us from Tel Aviv's Hostages Square today.
And the people that's coming home probably haven't had nothing to do with nothing. They was all innocent.
Yeah, they was
got
just
grabbed up.
in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Call them casualties of war.
Yeah.
So Sasha, what more can you tell us about the exchange that we've seen so far this morning?
Well, Marianne, as you saw, there was a lot of excitement, a lot of anticipation, and we've seen that pretty much every week since the ceasefire process has continued, as we've seen 3 and 4 hostages released from Gaza. But there was also a lot of concern today because as they watched the 3 men who were being released, 2 of them in their 50s, one of them in his 30s, they're coming out in some cases with these hostages. Relatives and others don't really know what shape they're in, obviously. In some cases, not even knowing whether they're alive or not alive. So today there was also a lot of worry as they came out, what shape they would be in, and concern.
The shape is alive.
Yeah, they're alive. They're alive. They I don't even know what their weights were before they were in captivity. But they look
Healthy.
malnutrition.
Yeah.
Like they look like they ain't really caught that many good meals. You can just see from a distance their
Yeah.
necks and whatnot.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm sure they're just happy to
But
be
they're alive.
alive.
You scared?
Yeah.
We gonna fatten you up once we get you over
Yeah,
here.
just get me out of here. That's all I be thinking right there. Just get me out of here.
Let me be free.
Screw all the bells and whistles.
Yeah.
It's time to go.
It's time to go.
Afterwards, because as some people put it, they weren't looking that great. And this is the first time that we've seen hostages.
said it wasn't looking that great.
Yeah,
looked
you can look
like
at them and
this.
tell,
This
yo,
is what-
they ain't been eating.
Yeah. I thought that was looking type healthy because over here in America we all got a little extra weight. You know what I'm saying? So I'm saying they look healthy. You feel what I'm saying?
Oh, no.
But I get what you're saying.
one of the people here had to say.
You like.
They look like the light came out of their eyes, and it's very difficult. So on the one hand, you're happy they came out, and when they opened the door of the van, we all cheered. And then you see them and you cry and you understand that they've been underground for so long and in such difficult conditions. And I can't believe that they came out only now.
So a real road.
We all know when people go through them type of situations, you're not
You're
coming
never
out
the same.
the same way that you went in. PTSD done set in. You done seen things. You was there living under fear, think he was a die this whole time. Your mind start playing tricks on you, and you're never, unfortunately, gonna be the same. Hopefully, therapy and that type of stuff will help, but you're still never gonna be the same.
Yeah,
before.
that's if they decide they want to come outside.
That's a good point.
Roller coaster ride actually every week as they looked and waited for what was going to happen, perhaps more so today. These hostages are now free. They're in Israel and they're being examined by doctors too. So that's where we have it. It's also become a bit of a political issue. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said that these were shocking scenes and he's asked his officials to take appropriate actions. But we've heard similar sort of rhetoric after previous releases, so we're not quite sure what that means at this stage. Everything does seem to be on track, at least for the moment.
Yes, at this point, it does appear that at least this latest exchange is successful so far, but this is all coming amid concerns that U.S. President Donald Trump's comments about a Gaza takeover could potentially jeopardize this agreement. What's the latest on the state of this deal? I know a lot of details about the second phase that should begin after this one are still not clear.
Good question.
Right. We're still about 2 weeks away from the end of this ceasefire. 33 will have been released by that point, 33 hostages.
Wow.
But there are still 59 who will remain, and that is what's being negotiated right now in Doha this weekend even, whether this will move on to the second phase, whether this will be just a pause, this ceasefire, or whether the war will actually end. And there's a lot of posturing, a lot of debate on both sides. There isn't a lot of trust, and both sides
You got to know you for real. And like you said, there's not a lot of trust.
Yeah, there's zero trust.
We're starting from a non-trusting position.
Good.
Give me my people back.
The trust is already in the negative.
Yeah.
To begin with. But like you said, there's posturing, but at least we're seeing movement on the front where so long there was no movement, there was no releases, there was no ceasefire. So
Right.
at least it's movement in the right direction, and stuff can get worked out when it's moving in the right direction.
Right. Like at this time, while they do have a ceasefire, they should be trying to do as much as they possibly can.
Yeah, I agree with
Because
you.
they just don't know where it's going to go.
Yeah, you never know. Stuff could change tomorrow.
Yeah.
trying to present a
I'd be
certain
hot if
message.
I was one of the people who didn't get
One of the other
released.
59.
Yeah.
I was like that. I'm like, how do you choose?
Yeah, how do you choose?
go?
You
Who
come
gets to
here.
Stay.
Yeah. You come here.
Why did you
that's
pick
about
him
it.
and not pick me?
Yeah. Why am I still here?
And then you really thinking I'm never gonna get out of this situation.
Yeah, they came to help and they left me.
Message. So today, for instance, in Gaza, what was Hamas trying to get across in this choreographed event, which is what we've seen now pretty much every week? Well, this is what they had to say about that.
Okay.
احنا كمان نوجه رسالة إلى نتنياهو إنه قضى على حماس بالعكس إنه الحمد لله حماس طلعت أقوى من قبل وبعزيمة وإصرار وإحنا بنفتخر فيه. ردنا على ترامب قصة التهجير إنه إحنا عشنا 475 يوم في الحرب الإبادة طوفان الأقصى وتهجرنا ونزحنا من مكان إلى مكان إنه نحن ضايلين بغزة ومش راح نطلع منها وقرار ترامب تحت رجلينا.
It's crazy. Basically, she was just saying that we heard what Trump said. We went through all the genocide. We want to stay here on our land. But it looked like you don't really got too much land to live on. And that's what he's saying.
But she like, we ain't leaving.
I mean, we'll see, and that's what's going on right now with the whole situation. Something need to be done there. Trump trying to come up with a plan. We're going to see how the plan works out. That's how I'm all about this whole administration. Let's just let them do what they're trying to do, and we'll go from there and see how it is. Before we get out of this video, if you didn't like, subscribe, leave a comment, make sure you do that. Until our next video, it's your boy, Trey TV.
And it's Lamar Wilson.
And we out.